Hey guys, how's it going? The reason I'm laughing is I actually, someday, this is something to work towards. I actually got an email from somebody that I think thought from the post I did either yesterday, I don't know when it was, one of the last two posts where I had, the picture up at the top was the picture of like the most optimal body on the planet, Zuzana, is that how you say her name? And it said it at the bottom, Body Rock TV or whatever, but I think somebody thought that was me. And I was like, in my dreams is that my body? I'm not being negative here, I'm just saying like, I know what my shape is, and even when I'm at my ideal body weight, I just don't know. I mean, certainly I'd love to get that ripped, and not to mention the fact that my boobs are real. This is not a cut, because you guys know I'm all about getting a boob job someday. Her boobs are, like, to me, the perfect boob job ever. I mean, mine are real, but in order to make mine look like hers, I'd have to hold them like this. See? There. Perfect cleavage right there. But when you're 42, they're down here a little bit more. So there's that. Some of you had asked about, like, this is like a real thin top that I've been wearing. This is actually Champion. You can get these at Target. It's like, I'm wearing it because I'm getting ready to do my workout, but it's chilly, so like when I do my workout, I'm going to take this off, but as you can tell, this is not like thick fleece. It's just something nice that, like, if you want to throw something on, like maybe if you were going to the gym and you wanted to wear something, I really like them. I like the fabric. It's easy to wash. But it is available at Target. I think these were like 25 bucks. I got a whole bunch of stuff from Champion that's available at Target. So get back to that in a little bit. But it's Monday, and I am, like I said, dressed, got my polar on, ready to go for my workout. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do for my workout yet today. One of the things I did really well last week with my workouts, but while I don't see myself going and planning out my week like I originally wanted to, with, everything has to be perfect and, X amount of cardio and X amount of weights. I do see something to the effect of kind of looking at all of the different workout, like especially when I'm working out from my home gym, looking at all the different workout DVDs I have and kind of mapping out what I'd like to do. There's some days when, I might have mapped out, hey, I'm going to do an insanity workout today, and then I'm just not in the mood, so you can do something else. But I do kind of like the idea of not having to figure out what I need to do. And when I say what I need to do, I'm just saying my whole approach now, what I'm doing with my workouts and with my diet really, is, I don't like how that was crooked, you know me, is like, for example, if I did yoga yesterday, I kind of like the idea of doing cardio and yoga on one day, and then the other days I do weight training, where I always like to start off my weight training with a little bit of cardio. When I say a little bit, I mean just enough to get my sweat on. I'm really trying to stick to, you guys, not overtraining. So I like the idea of maybe doing something like a Kathy HIIT workout for 15 minutes maybe. Not even that. Maybe like the one day I did some of the Rev Abs DVD, the cardio one that he had. He's so yummy. But I did that for like 10 minutes. I like to like get my heart rate up, get my sweat going, and then hit the weights. And then in between, because I'm doing so many, what I really like to do with weights, regardless, is lots of circuits and don't stop. So then you keep your heart rate up, and then sometimes in between those circuits, I'll like run up and down the stairs. Again, this is if I'm in my home gym, run up and down the stairs. I'll do some plyometrics, like some, some plyometric jumps in between, just keeping my heart rate up so I'm getting like the most out of my workouts. And Jessica, it's funny because that's what she said she was doing after her first pregnancy, and it was more about time, like she had to condense her time, so she was not using on the P90X DVD, she wasn't using break time, she was fast forwarding it. But for her, it kept her cardio kind of thing going, kept the sweat on, and she really had good results. Now she was also doing some cardio too, so we've all got to find out what we want to do. And this is what's working for me right now, is I'm first emphasizing weights and yoga. Those are like my two top priorities every week, and what I really enjoy. And while I love cardio, I don't have as much time for it. For me, I almost feel like if I do everything else right, I'm getting cardio in anyway. And I find that for me, with my life right now, what's hardest for me to plan is the time for a strictly cardio session. So in other words, if I want to go for a run, I've got to make sure that I have, it's not that I can't go for a half an hour run, but I've got to make sure that I've not eaten, you know, because that's something that's important for my metabolism, is I've got to make sure I haven't eaten, I've got to make sure I've got the time. And for me, you know, if I'm going to go outside and run, you know, I want to do it for at least half an hour, and I just have to make sure that I plan. It seems like with cardio, strictly cardio, especially if it's running, if it's anything plyo, this is the kind of stuff I like to do. Kickboxing, if I'm doing any kind of jumping or boxing, I've got to have an empty stomach. So that requires a lot more planning to be able to squeeze it in. We're like, right now, okay, I just had my dinner. If I wanted to go move into weights right now, I couldn't necessarily do a HIIT workout to start off with to get my body warmed up, but I could do weights right now. I don't have to wait until my stomach's empty, you know what I'm saying? There seems to be less planning with my weight workouts and with doing even a weight circuit. So I can get the cardio factor in there by doing circuits where with doing empty stomach cardio and running and insanity type stuff, I've got to plan that more at a certain time of day so that I've got the empty stomach and I'm not going to cramp up, etc., etc. Does that make any sense? Where am I? I'm already at 6:16. Speaking of which, I wanted to share with you guys about potatoes, because we were just talking about diet, right? And it's not just about potatoes, but I'm using potatoes as an example of why it's important to be aware of calorie counts and nutrition counts, both when you're eating out, this is a potato by the way, when you're eating out, but also when you're eating in. Because if you're not aware and not paying attention, you can be off. I've seen a lot of little articles that have been going out about this lately. You can be really frustrated. I'm not losing weight. Maybe you're not gaining weight, but maybe you're like me where you feel like, gosh, I'm kind of staying at the same place. You know, I can't buy that next size down in pants or, you know, my bathing suit or whatever it is. Sometimes it's the little details. And let me tell you something. These are the kind of things that really get on my nerves. For me, I'm using to track my calories and what I'm eating every day. I'm using fitday.com. It's also on my phone, okay? It doesn't tend to work as well on my phone, whatever. But I use the website, and what I like about it is it's like a lot of kind of like the Body Bug, if some of you guys have been using that, where you can add custom foods. So if I have a certain kind of bread, you know, I don't just enter, I had a piece of brown bread or whole wheat bread if I'm having a sandwich, because a piece of whole wheat bread can range anywhere from 60 calories a slice for a low carb bread to 200 calories a slice. You've got to be specific with what you're eating. And that's what I like about Fit Day is I can customize any of the stuff that I have in my fridge. If I happen to have a lean cuisine or a healthy choice, I can put that in and know exactly where I am. Plus it breaks it out into like a pie chart so I can see, wow, I'm kind of heavy on the fat today, or I'm heavy on my carbs or whatever. And I'm not obsessing about it, but it's nice to watch. What I found frustrating was there were a couple of things where I would put in something like potato, and it would say, and I knew when I had bought potatoes at the grocery store that it had told me now it wasn't this size, but I bought a bag of white potatoes. Yes, people, scandalous, it's white potatoes. The potatoes in this is about the size of my hand, okay? So this is what I would call like a medium to large size potato. The first bag that I bought was probably the potatoes were like about maybe that size, so they were a little bit smaller. And on that bag, it said that each potato was 100 calories, okay? Then I buy the next bag at Costco, and I'd say most of the potatoes are about this size. So if you can see, I do have small hands, but they're about this size. There's also potatoes in there that are this size, okay? This is a huge difference in potatoes. So then I go back to Fit Day and I'm like, how could the small potato that was closer to, I mean, I'm almost gonna say that size, but maybe, you know, like this and this is almost like the three bears of potatoes. This is Papa Bear, this is Mama Bear, and this is Wee Little Bear. I sound like a moron, I know. All that I'm saying is, sometimes you've got to be reasonable, okay? So, and also, why does this have like growths coming out of it? This is like an alien, like it's gonna, but anyway, there's differences in sizes, and size matters, okay? So, don't say it. All that to say is, you know, pay attention. So if you're using something like Fit Day, right, and you're entering this in, understand that they might have said, oh, your average potato, and actually I think that said 110 calories or something. there's no way that a small potato that's about this big is going to have the same amount of calories as these two badasses, okay? So increase accordingly. Don't look at that as like a free pass and be like, well, it said 100 calories, so I'm going to go for the biggest ones, and that's only 100 calories. Like, be reasonable. I'd always tend to overestimate. I'd rather overestimate my calories than underestimate my calories when I'm recording them. So that's something to think about. And then, you know, I've always said this, and I'll do separate vlogs about it, but, you know, awareness is key when you're eating out, especially. Isn't it weird that I go from like yammer, yammer, yammer to just quiet when I'm drinking? I just spilled on myself. People will, it still kills me. Like, I'll check in on Foursquare or Owala at like Arby's or McDonald's, and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you're there. Like, first of all, once in a while, yeah, I'm gonna get a fish sandwich at McDonald's. This really bothers me. It's like, I just can't find a good way of making this work. Okay, that's almost okay. Sometimes my boobs, I just wanna cut them off. They just take up a lot of space. I know, I'm gonna get emails on that. They're like, don't worry, they're not going anywhere. Oh, anyway, talking about eating, I gotta watch my time. Of course, I'm babbling on. Didn't I just say shorter vlogs? When you're eating out, okay, yeah, first and foremost, I'm absolutely, and this is the other part, like, I can't stand this part of when you wear the tank tops. Like, that's the part I can't stand. A lot of issues going on. You can eat out at McDonald's or Wendy's or Panera or whatever, but don't make the mistake. This is a mistake I see a lot of people making, and I'm getting up close because I'm making a point. Also, my hair is messed up. Okay, people will sometimes think, oh, well, why wouldn't you eat at a Panera or whatever? Did you know, and if you go and look up the nutritional information for Panera, people might think, well, I go to Panera and I'm gonna have a soup and salad, or I'm gonna go to Panera and I'm gonna have a Sierra turkey sandwich. It's turkey and it's on whole wheat or whatever. Look up the nutritional information. This is not a dig on Panera. I'm saying you can eat healthy anywhere and you can eat reasonably anywhere, but just do the math. It's just a matter of awareness. I didn't know it until I started looking at calorie counts like ages ago when I started checking this out. But like the Sierra turkey sandwich, if I'm correct, and most of the sandwiches at Panera or similar places are about 850 calories. Okay, so you go in there and you think you're having a turkey sandwich and you think it's okay, and if you're not paying attention to calorie counts, you have no idea how high it is. So for most people, like for someone like me, I'm trying to shoot between 1,300 and 1,500 calories a day. That's what I'm doing right now. Not saying that's for you. But if I go and I have a sandwich, that doesn't mean that the sandwich is bad, okay? I'm not saying that. But if I have an 850 calorie sandwich and maybe an iced tea, and for breakfast, maybe I had some oatmeal and whatever that was 300 calories, I'm already pretty darn close to my full day's calories. And if I go home and have a dinner that's 500 or 600 calories, and you're lucky if your regular dinner is 500 or 600 calories, most dinners, if you're not watching it or preparing or weighing, are gonna be closer to 8 or 9. That's how you don't ever end up losing weight. Do you see what I'm saying? Furthermore, if you go to a place like Arby's, people always get all over me when I go to Arby's. And you know what I get when I go to Arby's? If I want an Arby's roast beef sandwich, I get a medium roast beef. That's it, nothing on it. If I'm correct, I'm pretty darn sure it's 450 calories for the sandwich. Sometimes they eat the bread, sometimes they don't eat the bread. Sometimes they'll eat one piece of bread, sometimes they'll eat both, whatever. It depends on where I am and why I'm getting an Arby's sandwich. But a lot of people would think, well, I'll go through Arby's drive-thru and I'll have a market fresh sandwich because it's deli turkey or deli ham and it's on whole wheat and it's not going to be as bad as the roast beef. Okay, again, do the math. I can get a regular roast beef sandwich for 450, if I'm correct. I think my memory serves correct. But those are 850. Some of those are 900 calorie sandwiches. Just have an awareness of what you're buying, and you'll realize the more that you know, and all of these restaurants out there have this information on their website. Check it out so you can be prepared, and that makes the world a little bit more of a friendlier place to navigate when you're eating out. Okay? That's like Kelly's little tip for the day. So you enjoy your Monday, get your workout in. I'll see you tomorrow, Mr. Flo. I didn't flex for you. I don't have time. It's 14:26. Peace out.